Influencers and scams, a love story older than Romeo and Juliet. And now with the recent proliferation of cryptocurrency, it's only exacerbated this holy matrimony between influencers and being a complete piece of shit. Although anyone who remembers Ice Poseidon probably already knows he's a piece of shit. But if you guys are hungry for more scams since the Save the Kids whole debacle there, we have a new 500K rug pull from once legendary streamer Ice Poseidon. And to be honest, this one's kind of refreshing because he's at least honest about it. I mean, with Save the Kids, everyone was blaming other people and trying to cover their own ass and saying pepper fleeing the country because they didn't want to get indicted. Ice Poseidon's like, yeah, I fucking rugged my followers for 500K. Does not give a shit. He's either too stupid to realize what he did was wrong or is so flagrantly diabolical, he's just happy to lift money out of the poor pockets of his longtime followers. Ice Poseidon is scamming now? God damn it. Did Ice Poseidon drop an NFT? So I'm going to watch the CoffeeZilla YouTube video on my own time, because it's a little bit longer, but let's watch this Charlie one so we can get up to date on the situation here.
Cryptocurrency and scams, the most iconic duo. Together like peanut butter and jelly.
That's not wrong.
Today, a once massive streamer was exposed for stealing $500,000 roughly.
Let's start off by saying this, okay? If you take any cryptocurrency project, if it is backed by some sort of influencer personality that's just clearly has no fucking clue what even crypto is, right? Think that Bitcoin is like an actual physical coin you get at Kmart or something. There is a 100% chance that shit's going straight to zero, and if you invest in it, you're an absolute fucking moron. Oh, my favorite influencer came out with a fucking token. Get hard in my nut coin. Nut in my butt coin. Going to the moon, you know? I'll put 100K in that, sure.
This is the story of Ice Poseidon and CX Coin. I'm sure you've heard of Ice Poseidon at some point. He used to be the most influential streamer on Twitch, but over the years he's faded into obscurity like a fart in the wind. Just
banned 100 times.
Stinking the entire time.
Yes.
Ice Poseidon's a name you still can't even really mention on Twitch. It's like Voldemort because he got banned on there.
I love that because Charlie is now kind of like the Twitch powerhouse, one of the Twitch powerhouses.
Really faded, and now it's just kind of like talking about a fossil. Now, even just at a surface level, knowing nothing about Ice Poseidon, it still seems like a stupid thing to invest in. Just a random streamer who has no technological background announcing cryptocurrency.
If they're an influencer and they do crypto, run in the opposite direction. Charlie knows.
You'd have to be pretty close to overdosing on Xanax to think that that's a worthwhile investment, but knowing his past makes it even goofier. Ice Poseidon has a history of openly scamming people and being super honest with it. He even went on stream one time just fully admitting to a Ponzi scheme he was running.
Sounds about right.
Investors to make their money back. What we do is we grow the company to a certain point, and then we have other investors come in, and obviously they invest their money as well, hopefully more than $2 million. And then obviously when we get more than $2 million invested, the other investors will get their $2 million back. It's not a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme. Okay.
You just defined a Ponzi scheme. You just defined what a Ponzi scheme was.
I don't really know how to explain it because I didn't explain that very well, I guess.
That is the textbook definition of a Ponzi scheme. It's like he fucking read it right off of Webster's. And he's just...
The best part is that like 99% of crypto is basically a Ponzi scheme too. A lot of the high APY stuff. And you have to understand, I'm very bullish on crypto in the future of the space and what, you know, digital coins means for like the world. But we're at that phase right now where it's just 98% fucking scam pieces of shit taking people's money. And it's like, if you invest early and you can dump on all of the new people that come in, once there's retail hype, you make a bunch of money. Big Ponzi.
Super honest with it. He also talked about the time he used to fish credit cards. Like, he openly has admitted to scams in the past, and yet for some reason when he announced this cryptocurrency, people still put money into it. And I'm sure, just like a Darman video, they live to regret it because goddamn, that video came out today where CoffeeZilla dove in and proved that Ice Poseidon took almost $500,000 from that cryptocurrency, just rug pulled it. And it's a great video. I highly encourage you to watch it. I'm going to show a couple of clips here, but he does a great job of laying it all out, and even brings Ice Poseidon himself on the horn, who openly admits again to stealing the money and refusing to give it back.
Yes.
Even though he openly says, yes, I took the money. It's an actual fucking felony. The dude just openly admits to defrauding investors.
The problem is, though, it's still so unregulated. These aren't technically securities yet. So there's like, everyone's like, oh, you can go to jail. And I don't know the actual specifics, but Obviously, regulation is a big hot point in the crypto space right now because if these were securities, so many fucking influencers would be in jail by now. Most of which I'd be fine with them going to jail, quite frankly. But this is going to start to get super meta because I'm now on stream watching Charlie, probably streaming, watching Ice Poseidon and CoffeeZilla. So this is just, I love this. This is great.
It's crazy. Like, I understand Ice Poseidon's damn near illiterate, but it's also shocking just how dumb he is sometimes. He openly on CoffeeZilla's interview says, yeah, I took the money. No, I'm not giving it back.
To $500,000, and I'm going to prove it. He personally profited $300,000 by stealing money out of a crypto scheme that he set up. And when I confronted Ice Poseidon, who's better known by his real name, Paul Danino, about this scam,
Paul Danino,
he was shockingly honest.
You want to keep the money that's not yours, that you took from the project, even though you failed to deliver.
I mean, I'm not really sure what you want me to say, but yeah.
I'm trying to...
Listen, you have to call a spade a spade. You love somebody who's honest, right? There's not much worse than a fucking scammer, except a scammer who tries to pretend like they're not a scammer. At least he's honest about it. He's like, I took all of my fans' money. I created a coin that's useless, and then I pumped it to the fans, and then I just dumped all over their face the second it went live.
Just like get you to return the money because it's 100% still available, and you could do that.
Yeah, I could give the money back. It is within my power, but I'm going to look out for myself and not do that.
I created a Ponzi scam coin, took all of my fans' money. What you want me to give it back? Oh, you a fucking idiot! I'm looking out for myself here. Why do you think I created a fucking scam coin in the first place? So I could not make any money from it? That's the whole fucking point of a Ponzi, is to take money off the dumb fucking plebes that invest in it, thinking they're going to see more money in the future, and then you fucking yoink! You ripped the rug right out! Man's only looking out for himself and his family. Jesus.
I don't know what else to say. That's just the most honest answer.
Ice Poseidon's like Ed from Ed, Ed and Eddie, the one that just keeps talking about buttered toast, but if he was a criminal. He's honestly, I swear to God, like that stupid cartoon character that you'd think could never really exist in the real world, but somehow he does. But not only that, I truly believe Ice Poseidon thinks he's
but
done
he's
nothing wrong.
real.
In the CoffeeZilla interview, there's a point where CoffeeZilla mentions that the people he took this money from are people that are less well off than he is. Somehow there are sentient, living, breathing human beings that for some reason were convinced this was a good idea to put money into. I just don't get it. For some reason, anytime cryptocurrency is mentioned, people just turn their brain off, hop on MetaMask, and dump their entire fucking life savings into poop-ass dog pussy coin and think that they're going to make $1 billion off of it. Like,
100% true, right? So there's a lot of factors that go into that. Headlines, also the fact that a lot of people, when stuff like this happens, it's like, it's hard to feel bad for the victims, right? Because it's like you have to be a special type of person to invest in something this stupid anyways. But at the same time, you have to give people a little bit of credit because they're being inundated left and right with headlines about some fucking Floki Shiba Inu Dogecoin that turned some grocery store attendant into a multi-trillionaire in the course of 8 months. So once you plant that seed in the retail investor that associates cryptocurrency with overnight trillionaire, and then your old favorite influencer Ice Poseidon created a revolutionary new tech that's going to change the face of sucking dick in the metaverse, you just dump all of your life savings into it, and the next thing you know, he stands over your face and takes a fat turd in your mouth, and your kid's savings is gone. You hate to see it, but this is the world we live in.
I don't get it, but it keeps happening. And CoffeeZilla mentions hey, those people,
a lot like the lottery, not wrong.
They don't have that much money, and Ice Poseidon's oh, well, I don't like it when you say it like that.
Ice Poseidon.
Oh, it's only billionaires that invest in Ice Poseidon Ponzi coins.
To the guilt that he was taking
fucking
from
dumbass,
his friends who were all much worse off than him. Poseidon's response was that he didn't like how that made him sound.
I don't know if you're aware of the fact that your average fan has way less money than you. So you're just taking from poor people. You understand that, right?
Whoa, bro. Don't frame it like that. Jesus, what are you making me sound like some sort of criminal or crook? No, this is just an investment that kind of went south. All right. I'm not lifting money out of poor people's wallets. God, that makes me sound awful. I'll take a shower or something. Jesus.
That is definitely not, that is not a good way to put it. That's a pretty shitty way to put it, my dude.
I think it's a pretty shitty thing to do.
He really doesn't like to be confronted with the hard truth of what he actually did, so he's trying to like spin it somehow in his mind. Where
That's the reality, is that like I think Ice Poseidon, to Charlie's point, is so fucking dumb that he really, like, his brain just doesn't process until he hears it that way that what he's doing is even probably wrong, right? He's like, oh, wait a minute. If you put it that, no, that sounds terrible. That's not what I did. That sounds bad. I like the way I like the version in my own head better. Let's stick to that.
where he's not the bad guy, he's not the evil supervillain. So he's like, oh, no, this was actually a righteous thing to do. In fact, I'm like the Batman of crypto or some shit. Like, he doesn't like it when you explain to him that what he actually did is just scam people less fortunate than he is. And I really feel like he has this some kind of main character syndrome or hero complex, because at the end of CoffeeZilla's video, spoiler alert, he does mention that he'll give back 155 grand. And then, like, what, expects us to pat him on the ass for
how did he
because he's
land
giving
at
back
that number?
A fraction of the total amount that he stole. His goofy goober already stated in the interview he could give the full amount back if he wanted to.
Of course he could.
Simply doesn't want to. He's
Wasn't his money in the
schoolyard
first
bully,
place.
and he doesn't want to share his popsicles with the rest of the class. And like, we're supposed to like thank him for the 155 grand that he's willing to shave off of his pubic hair for us. He's just giving us some crumbs back. And then it turns out he didn't even give 155 grand back. He gave 40 grand back. So he couldn't even be bothered to do like the full amount of his apology return. It's fucking shocking.
And how do you even decide, who are you giving the 40 grand back to? Are you just like giving it to a few people, or are you putting it in a pool? So there's like $40,000 of liquidity for people to pull out a few tokens. So it's like first come, first serve. How does that even work? A real champion.
I'll just call it a scam. I know you don't want to call it a scam, but it is a scam. So what did you make off this?
Well, I got 55%, and then 45% went to my developers. So I don't know, probably like 300,000.
Nice. What a good profit from doing
Nothing.
I mean, how long did you work on this project? Like, seriously, how long did you work? I'm just curious.
Well, like you said, it was a fork, so I don't know, a couple weeks.
300,000.
And when he says it was a fork, means you're copying the code from another project. So you basically take all of this already written code from GitHub, you put some new graphics on it, and you upload your own website. Probably could have paid like a graphic, like probably could have paid a team a couple grand to do it, and it would take, you know, a week. So he spent no time, is what I'm saying. He probably put up a few bucks to get it going, and then it was done in a week or two, and then he just yoinked 400K off of his fans.
Fat clams for 2 weeks worth of work, and I'm sure he inflated that. I don't think he did 2 weeks worth of work for this at all.
No.
And yeah, I highly encourage you to watch the CoffeeZilla video. It is absolutely wild.
The moral of the story, guys, like I said to you previously, and you all know this because you're on a Leon Lush stream, so your brain isn't smooth like a fucking bowling ball. Any cryptocurrency tied to a influencer not related to cryptocurrency is going straight to zero, and don't ever even throw $1 at it.